Despite rains last week in Nebraska, the drought monitor shows drought continues to grip a huge part of that state. 92% of the corn and 99% of the beans are in D1 to D4 drought. That's just a slight improvement over the previous week. Some farmers and ranchers are going on their second year of drought, and they tell me it will cut into the yield prospects and has already forced more cattle liquidation.
There ain't much for moisture there.
This is the second drought year Ryan Ebrine has seen in his farming career. The first was in 2012, but he says this one has been tougher with the lack of subsoil moisture this spring.
This was worse than that year. I mean, when we were planting this year, we struggled just to find moisture.
Bart Ruth farms in central Nebraska, the epicenter of the dryness on the drought monitor.
This year is by far the driest in my career. Just no moisture over winter and no moisture this spring.
And Ruth is among the many Nebraskans facing year number 2 of intense drought.
Into central Nebraska, most of that part of the state is under severe drought. And the further east you go, basically we're seeing almost all of the eastern 1/3 of Nebraska in extreme to exceptional drought. And that has slowly been increasing in spatial coverage over the last couple months.
And this year's drought came earlier than in 2022, so irrigation pivots have been running for several weeks.
We started mid-May, and I think we're on pass number 6 on corn already. So, we're expecting twice as much water to be applied during the growing season this year as in the average year.
The extreme dryness has also hurt this year's forage crops.
I was hoping for a bale per acre, and it's half of that. We're getting, we normally get 3.5, 4 bale per acre on a good year.
And so he was forced to cull even more cattle from his herd.
We cut back from 100 cows down to below 80, and I've gotten rid of another 10 now, and now we got to go back through and look again, and any cow that looks cross-eyed at you that's not real good probably needs to go. So,
even though some dry areas receive rain to end June and start July, this week's drought monitor still shows 52% of the corn and 63% of the beans are in D3 to D4 drought in Nebraska.
Even with regular rainfall, dryland crops are going to have a tough go of it.
So the top end yield has been shaved from even irrigated fields, especially on corn.
You get a hot 90-degree day. In the afternoon, you look at that corn, it's all pineappled up, looking, not good at all. So the top end yield is for sure gone there. And I would say at least 25%, 30%, somewhere in there.
And the rains came too late to save the dryland crop.
I mean, there's plants out there 4 inches tall and 1st of July, and so they won't amount to anything. So, we'll have some acres that are zeroed out. I think on the best irrigated ground, if we do get some rain, you might be looking at a half a yield yet, but it's hard to tell. Beans probably a little more potential. Once a crop's dead, it's not going to be revived no matter how much water you put on it.
So they'll likely be relying on crop insurance again this year.